Okay. What's up, YouTube, and welcome back to Not With Her. I'm Jen, and she is my BFF.
SB, what's going on, YouTubers?
And today we decided that we are going to talk about
relationships
and dating in our 40s.
Absolutely. So I'm actually in a committed relationship. I've been in a committed relationship for now 14 years with a beautiful woman, my baby, my fiance, Awilda.
What's up, Owie?
Wow, baby. She is everything to me. And we got engaged just this last January. So it's
But they've been together for a really long time.
We've been together for a long time. In lesbian years, that's like 150 years. So
well, tell them how long you've been together.
Yeah, I did. 14 years. We've been together. Yeah, I did.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, she. So yeah, 14 years we've been together. And, you know, you probably all know the lesbian joke, right? What do lesbians bring on a second date? A moving truck. That's right. So we probably...
It was kind of like that.
It was kind of like that. I mean, we've known each other for a long time since college days.
Over 20 years.
Over 20 years. And, you know, so we're getting married next year in September. So cross fingers, everything works out well. Love her to death. But so I'm kind of like this, not stable, but I'm kind of the one that has like the normal lifestyle. Like I go home, we make dinner, you know what our weekends look like, you know, it's that kind of stuff. But it's interesting to have to date nowadays, especially in our 40s. I couldn't even imagine that now.
Well, it sucks. Let's just keep it real. It sucks. But before we get on to that, right? I was thinking maybe you could tell YouTube a little bit about like what it was like dating in your 20s compared to like what, or even what your relationship with Awilda was like in your 20s as opposed to now. Like, is it the same? Is it different? And how so?
Okay, so dating in your 20s, when we first started dating, you know, I courted her a lot, you know, and that was important for us because, you know, you want to keep that spark alive. Everything is new in your 20s when you're dating someone. You don't know if it's going to be serious. You don't know if it's not going to be serious. You know, you get a lot of... And when I was first, like, when I was dating in my 20s, it was brand new for me to be dating somebody on a regular basis. You know, there was these hookups here and there, but it wasn't somebody who I was serious about. And Wither was really the first person I was really serious about. But dating was a little different. So, but 20s was just like, you know, everything had to be exciting. Everything had to be, you know, let's do this crazy thing. Let's do that crazy thing. And like I said, you know, I liked courting her, you know. We went to the movies, we went out.
Let's keep it real.
Every day was a date night.
No, but let's keep it real.
Okay, well, we keep it real.
You didn't court her. You had a crush on her, but you were afraid to pursue it.
I thought we were talking about once we started dating. Are you talking about
you
up
said
until?
Courting her, that means pre-dating.
Well, when you're dating, you're still courting, in my opinion. You know, I think you still need to keep that, you know, spontaneous element of dating.
Courting. Let's keep it real. I'm gonna keep it real with you too, because
bubble.
She lied like a rug.
I'm not lying. She likes her version.
She used to, because my version is the right version.
Here we go.
This is what really happened,
and this is why you know we're best friends, because she's been along that long to remember my dating.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, are you really gonna do that? Like.
I'm eating.
So
yeah.
Everybody sees that.
Yeah. Hi. I'm eating a mint. Alludins. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, stop moving your mouth and making noise.
You would think she was my girlfriend.
So anyway, this is what really happened, YouTube. So were we roommates at the time, or no? This was like pre-roommates. That's exactly what happened. You guys kind of got together, and then she just moved in. All right.
I'm not lying.
So she would come home every day talking about this girl, right? This girl at school.
Dominican girl. Haha. God.
That's irrelevant, right? But anyway, so she would come home every day, and like she was so afraid to like let's keep it real. You were afraid to like pursue anything with her or let this girl know that she was interested. You were interested. So I said, light bulb. And I said, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to go to the school with you. Was she a student? Oh, maybe I shouldn't say that. Is that like, this is college.
We were both
This is-
students.
okay.
So it was legit. It was okay. It wasn't against
It
the
was-
law. She's over here making me sound like I'm about to lose something.
No, because I don't remember. Because she,
Thank you, YouTube. I want to make sure you point something out. I didn't tell the truth. She wants to tell the real version. Meanwhile, she just said she doesn't remember.
no, I didn't remember whether or not you were working there full time at the time.
Or that
if
we
you were
lived
going to
together.
school.
We did
What?
live together.
You and I. Yes. I get
Roommates.
that. Anyway, so I said, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to go over to the school and I'm going to pretend like I'm interested in you. And what happened?
It worked.
The first time.
It worked.
Like,
First of all, her hands were all over me. Like she was my girlfriend. I didn't think that was going to work, but she got jealous real quick. It was like
immediately.
slap. Like,
And they
it
were
was like,
together ever since then.
Right.
You were.
Well,
You were.
we were together for about 2.5 years, or 2 years and some change. And then I messed up.
Well, we're not going there yet.
We're not
that's
going
how
there?
that's how they got together. Right.
Right. Okay, so that's, yeah. How we
And
met each other.
okay. And then we wound up, she moved in with her girlfriend and I wound up moving in with my boyfriend.
See the face?
All right.
See the face?
And look, what happened.
right,
it was the
exactly.
past.
It
We've
was
all
the
grown.
past.
Grown.
Yes.
Grown is not a word. So, yes. Then being in your 20s, right? You were a knucklehead
Right.
and you messed up.
Right. Exactly. That's messed up.
And
You know? And didn't value what I had. And then also it was just like, you know, when you're that young and you put all your eggs in the basket, you know, sometimes you forget that, you know, you need to live a little. I don't recommend that anybody get into a serious relationship. 19,
When you're real young.
20, 21. Because let's face it, you know, life is to be lived. I regret it because I wish we would have traveled more as friends in our 20s. You know, we could have had some experiences, you know, out there and explore the world before you have to tie yourself to somebody who, you know, love is love. I get it. You fall in love and that first big love. I mean, come on. It is kind of amazing. It is. I get it. You know, it's your heartstrings and, you know, the moon, the sun rises and sets with that other person. I get it. But, you know, give yourself a chance to breathe. Don't give yourself so much stress. Don't give yourself so much, you know, responsibility so early on. So, yeah.
And just, I think kind of like what you're trying to say is that when you're in your late teens and you're in your 20s or whatever, you should be focusing on you and just having fun.
Absolutely. Responsible fun, but fun.
Right.
Right.
You know,
Don't
learning
wild out.
what it is, your likes, your dislikes. Let's face it, in your early 20s, you have no idea who you are.
None.
Right? I mean,
And you're selfish. Let's face it.
very,
You should be. You're selfish. You're 20-something years old.
right.
You know, you just got legal. All you care about is being legal now. Drinking, having fun, going to parties that you couldn't do when you were 19, 20.
Girls, boys,
Yeah, right.
just
So
having fun.
just do that.
Anyway,
So yeah. So luckily enough, 5 years later, after, you know, I sold some oats and I figured things out, I was lucky enough to reconnect with Awilda, my boo, my baby. And we've been going strong for the last 14 years. So thanks.
How does your relationship differ now than it did
I'm a lot less selfish. It's about the relationship. It's about making it work. It's about being with somebody who's there with you through thick and thin. It's about somebody who's, you know, gonna love you as much as you love them, and is in for the long haul, like the whole thing. So that's who Awilda is for me. That's what we do for each other. She loves me to death. She loves me like nobody's ever loved me. You know, calls me beautiful every day and tells me I have the greatest smile. Yeah, see? It's the cheeks. What else? I mean, I just love her and she loves me. So there you go. So that's relationships for me.
And by this time, you guys have both seen the good, the bad, and the very ugly.
Very ugly. Yeah, absolutely.
And you're so committed to one another that you've
We know we want to make it.
experienced it and moved on.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Right? And those trials and tribulations have made your relationship stronger.
Yes.
Right. I thought you were leaving. Okay.
I'm done. Bye. No, I'm just kidding. So what about you?
It's been
She's kissed a couple of frogs, people.
yeah. So how many fingers did you
I have
put up?
4.
4.
Yeah, I'm like real frogs, like real, like you try to make it work.
4? No, 3.
That I thought it was 4.
Oh.
Okay, I think I'm right, but she forgets.
I've had 3 frogs and one guy who was really a great person, but it didn't.
Well, I was counting that. I was counting that as a frog.
But that's not a frog because he added to my life. I believe that I added to his life, and he was a really good person, and he was
but he wasn't your prince, which is what I'm trying to get to.
He wasn't my prince.
Right,
but I wouldn't consider him a frog. I don't think that's fair. He's a good guy. And now he's happily married with like 2 or 3 additional children.
Okay, thumbs up. All right.
So, the other ones though?
Frogs.
Like, it doesn't matter how many times they've been kissed.
Frogs.
They just gonna be frogs.
So what are you looking for? Like, okay, what do you give advice to the women out there today?
Well, first of all, this has been my experience thus far.
Okay.
Right? I think that it's like when I was younger, when I was in my 20s or whatever, young men would approach you no matter where you were.
Right.
And they would be like, you know, they would give you a line or whatever, and you would be ignorant enough to be like,
oh my God. One of my favorites is, do you have God's number? Because I have to call him because, you know, he must be missing an angel. I love that one. That was one of my favorites. I used to hear guys say that all the time.
Oh, I don't think I've ever heard that. But, so I guess now it's like I'm more mature. I know what I don't want. I know what I do want. And it's like, you're not going to get my attention if you, like, we're in the street and you're like, psst, 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 yo, ma,
I hate
you know,
that.
or like,
I hate that.
Like,
like, yo, ma, psst, psst. Like, you're supposed to look around to that. Like, who does that?
That's just, I'm 42 years old. That's not.
Right. I would rather you get approached by a guy that says, excuse me, you look, you know, like, you look like somebody I would like to get to know. Would you like to get some coffee? Simple.
Or something.
Something.
Not anything like that, right? So, and how can I say this without implicating anybody? But
okay,
so
we will change the names to.
Well, I'm not going to use any names, but I think that in the workplace, it's been my experience as a more mature adult that the guys that you get to know in the workplace are more inclined to try to speak to you.
Okay. All right. You spend a lot of time with these people. You know, it's because 8 to 10 hours a day, you know, you see them more sometimes than you see your own family. So, I mean, I could see where somebody could get an attachment to somebody.
Right.
At work.
But in my experience, and this is also observational.
Okay.
Let's face it. A lot of people our age are in relationships.
Okay, yeah.
They're in relationships. They're either married or they're in some kind of committed relationship, right?
Okay.
If you're in a committed relationship, whether it be a marriage or this is your partner, I feel as though it's inappropriate to try to establish something with somebody else.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah,
like,
no.
even if it's a friends with benefits type of thing. And look, different people are open to different things, and that's cool. But here's my problem with this whole friends with benefits thing. If you are in a committed relationship and your partner is not a swinger,
then
don't
do it.
I think that you should be 100% honest with whoever you're with. If the love is gone, fly the coop. And I know that's easier said than done. You know, try to work on your relationship if you feel that it's still salvageable or whatever. But
yeah, no strings.
Like,
don't make it messy. That's just drama.
No, because it's unfair to the other person.
Absolutely.
You know, that's not cool.
Right.
So that I've experienced, like I said, personally, but I've also experienced other female friends having those kind of
relationships.
Or no, the
arrangements?
No, that these propositions.
Oh, that goes for men and women. There's some women out there that, you know,
absolutely,
that do the same.
But,
that's so it's gotta even make it harder.
I went the internet dating route.
Okay.
And
how'd that work out?
It was ugly.
It was ugly.
So one of those frogs that you were talking about, we were talking about earlier.
Right. The big frog. Toad. Warts.
So,
for real.
I met via, in a dating site.
Okay.
And this person, again, he was in a committed relationship that he was trying to get out of, but instead of being mature enough to say to his partner, like, hey, the love is gone, or I don't feel like it's working out anymore, or whatever, he decided that he was going to test the waters. And, I guess I fell into that. So that was that. Thank God it didn't last that long. He showed his spots fairly quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I was stupid and I went along
well, that's what happens, right? When you meet representatives.
Yeah.
We have this little thing that we talk about all the time. When you get to know somebody, sometimes their representative is the person you meet until a little later on.
And you're like, once you start to really care about that person, and then you're like, who the hell is this?
Yeah.
That's not the person. See, I am who I am right off the get-go, right? I think that I is who I is.
She is, actually.
And
so you gotta know that going in.
All the good
already.
And the bad. Like,
all in one shot, she gonna tell you.
Here's my craziness.
On the
right
plate.
Up forward. Like, here.
There you go.
If you don't like it, toodles. If you want to give it a shot, that's cool. Yes. So, but I've also had invitations. This is internet dating in my experience so far, which has led me to, I will never internet date again. Yeah. I have been invited out on dates and woken up to D-pics on my phone.
Whoa.
Dude, I don't know you, or
all the goodies up front like that.
Yeah, and when I said I'm gonna offer you all my craziness up front on a plate, I didn't mean my goodies.
No.
What are you thinking? What are you thinking?
What are guys thinking?
When are you I want her to either predate, I want her to see what she.
You don't think guys are so super proud of their D's, their package or something, that they just want to share pictures?
Well, that's great.
That's crazy, though.
I'm proud of my stuff too, but
not for.
I'm not gonna let every Tom, Dick, and Harry sample it.
Yeah.
Or like,
ooh, no.
hey, love. Like, can you imagine? I mean, maybe you would like it. I don't know. If you woke up to like 15 pictures, like every angle.
That's medical school. Like, do you
really think like after you send those kind of pics, like we're like, oh yeah,
like yeah, like what do you think? Like,
oh, I can't wait to go out with him tonight. You know, maybe
there are, but wait, I have to play devil's advocate. Maybe there are some women
there
out
are
there
women out there
that
like
that stuff.
But
you know what I'm saying? I can't judge. But
no. But
that's two categories. Those are two different
categories. But my
thing
is too.
Then you women can't get mad when shit goes south.
But if you're on your dating profile, you specify, like, I am not into games. This is not, about sex. I'm interested in a real relationship. If that's what you specify, then, and even like in a phone call or text or whatever, like, you specify, like, that's not what I'm about.
Oh, I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so then, you should know what you're getting into.
And then, like, you're still sending me these things. Or, like, once I had to cancel, and then I woke up to, like, a whole slew of pics. And I'm like, and he's like, this is what you lost out on or something. And I'm like, really?
Wow.
Like, did you really think that I was gonna...
That's crazy.
Like... No, you're. Ugh.
That's all you can say. Ugh.
Like, so, it's. I feel like in my experience, a lot of the men that I have come across are only interested in one thing.
Yeah, and here's the other thing that I find interesting. Guys who think they're being ultra honest up front, saying, okay, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I can and cannot do. Like that doesn't make it any better. Just because you're being honest.
Well, wait. I'm gonna stop you.
Why?
Because I can appreciate I appreciate your honesty as long as it's from the get-go.
Right.
Be honest. Tell me what you're about. Because then at that point I have the ability to either welcome you in or, I have the right to choose. You're giving me the right to choose. Don't make it like, oh, you're this great family man and you're about having a relationship and then blow, the whole screen on your phone my phone is pics of you.
Yeah, no.
No. Be honest.
Yeah, but...
Up front.
Okay.
You might still be a creepy McCreepster depending on how you go about things.
See, I think that's a creepy McCreepster. You trying to be honest about something, but you are being honest about something dishonest. Like you're trying to not tell the person you're with that you want to hit hit it with other people.
No, again,
but you want to tell the other people you're being honest. Meanwhile, you're not being honest with the person who you supposedly love. So
you're going back to what we discussed earlier.
Yeah. So no.
It's like these men who are like,
no.
Even if they're being honest with you, they're not being honest with their significant others.
Right. So how do you
That's not cool.
That's not cool.
That's not cool. Like,
no. Then you bring people into drama, and then that's what it all is. That's what dating has been like reduced to. Like this, he said, baby mama, baby daddy drama. Like, because people are not being honest with their situation. That's crazy.
All
and
around.
At 40?
All around. With the person that you're pursuing.
Right.
And if you have a person at home.
Right. And at 40, me, 41, even though I have a baby face, I have a baby face.
Let me count the wrinkles.
Right. Well, that's another topic. That's another topic. That being said, at 40, 41, 42, okay?
Yeah, she'll be 42 soon. In a couple months.
That's not cool. We have no patience. Like, I couldn't even imagine having to deal with some shit like that at 42. I have no patience.
Or like...
That's it.
Or like, I live with my wife. Like, we want to get a divorce. I want to get a divorce. But I live with her for the kids.
Women have been doing it by themselves for a long time. If they get help, that's great. But don't use your woman and the kids as an excuse for you to do your dirt.
Believe me, if that woman knew what you were trying to do, she'd probably be happier if you left.
Right, absolutely.
So you're not doing anybody a favor. You're not doing your kids a favor by potentially exposing them to that kind of drama.
Absolutely. I mean, because that hurts the whole family.
Right.
Absolutely.
You know?
So what kind of advice would you give to some of our viewers?
Well, first, I'm not even finished. I'm
like, so sorry.
But then, dudes who are not like, a lot of people, I'm generalizing here, but I'm going to say a lot of men have forgotten what chivalry is.
Oh, okay.
So, being the mother of a young man, my son is 19 years, he's going to be 19 in May.
He's 19.
I started off with him very early, trying to teach him, how a man should treat a woman.
That's a big responsibility.
It is. And, he's, his father really hasn't been around for that long. He's not been around for longer than he has been around.
Okay.
We might get into that story another day.
Story.
But, so he hasn't really had a male influence, and I understand the necessity, the importance of having a man be a part of his children's lives, both male and female. But in our situation, it just wasn't the case. Hasn't been the case. So I taught my son how to, open doors for women and open doors for,
anybody.
Men, right? Like, just be courteous,
Right, the elderly, everything.
Right. I taught my son, before he started working, he was very interested in this young lady who he's currently with now. And, she was working. And I told him, Devin, sorry, that's his name. If this girl's working, how are you going to ask her out and not be working?
Right.
So if you guys want to go anywhere, she has to pay for you. Like, I'm sorry. I don't care if you disagree with me or not. I feel that yes, if a man asks you out or whatever, I feel like he should be responsible for the date. He should be responsible to pay for the date.
Okay.
And I felt that my son should be responsible for the date if he goes out with this girl. So we were actually out to dinner last week, and we were talking about this with the girl present, and she was like, oh, now I understand why you took so long, you know? Because, I kept saying, no, it's all right. I'll pay for the date or whatever. And my son was adamant, like, no, not until I have the money, not until I get a job. And to me, that's very important. I mean, yes, I'm like pro women's rights and all of that kind of thing. And
Absolutely.
What I'm about to say has nothing to do with women's rights. I think it has to do with the fact that, I'm trying to
a guy needs to
step up and be a man.
Right.
Like, women, we've assumed the roles and the responsibilities of the man too long. Like, if you're going to be in a relationship with a woman, step up and be a man.
I can see that. I can see women wanting to be treated, if a man is asking you out, that doesn't mean, dudes, that y'all get to be like, oh, I bought you dinner.
You must be used to me spending.
Right. No.
All that sweet whining and dining. I'm you tonight.
No, that's not
That's
what that
R.
means.
Kelly, and where's he at now?
Lord Jesus.
Not good advice.
That doesn't mean that. That just means that you're respecting the person you're taking out. You're taking responsibility for that evening. And there's a sense of chivalry when it comes to, old school values. There's nothing wrong with old school values. A lot of people are like, oh, that's old thinking. That's the past. People don't do that anymore.
I'll pay for myself.
Right.
Or, opening the door is a big thing to me.
Yeah, I know don't you have a story about that?
I have a few. Well, I have stories. I've had experiences. If you and I, a man and a woman, we're together, and you walk through the door before me, I will, and I have stood on the other side of the door,
waited out there
with my arms crossed across my arms crossed across my chest, right? Waiting for him to realize that I wasn't behind him.
Wow.
And then
that's crazy.
And this happens all the time. And then they turn around and like, well, what happened? Why are you standing on the outside of the door? Because your rude ass didn't even realize. Number one, you didn't open the door for me. You didn't hold the door for me. You didn't even realize that I wasn't behind you until you were like, on the third floor.
That's a pet peeve of mine. I don't particularly like when I see a couple that you kind of think is a couple, a guy and a girl walking, because you see that they, and the guy is like 4 feet, 5 feet in front of the girl. Like he's walking in front of her, When I was growing up, it was more like, you walk together.
Right.
And the guys walk on the outside of the street and the women walk on the inside of the street.
Right. Which that is something that I taught my son as well.
So those kind of things. When you're with somebody, you want to make sure that you're with them, that you're next to them, that they're with you. I think that's so corny. I think that shows some of the chivalry that's gone out the window lately.
But you know what? It's our responsibility, as older folks.
Boy, she used
no, but I'm saying to teach younger kids that, it's your responsibility as a parent to teach your daughters that yes, it's okay to be independent. It's okay to do your own thing. It's okay to make your money. I do. But
right.
when you are out with your significant other or somebody who is interested in making you their significant other, I think that it's important for them to show you that level of respect, And I think that it's important for women to show that level of respect to men as well.
Right. Absolutely. Once you start dating, if she wants to pick up the check, there should be nothing wrong with that. That's after you start dating.
Right, you're in a relationship.
Right.
And it's not, it's like, hey, baby, I got this. Or what's wrong with you making your man dinner? Or, taking him out. So it's a relationship is 100. I'm giving you 100%.
Right.
And you're giving me 100%.
Right.
So when I'm out with you, I'm going to show you the utmost respect. And I expect the same thing in turn.
Absolutely. So respect, basically somebody who's going to bring you up, they need to be on your level. Not to say that if somebody's struggling in the relationship, not to say that if God forbid somebody falls on hard times, that they, it's different.
You hold down the person who you love.
Right. Exactly.
As long as they're making an attempt to better themselves.
I will say this, because it's happened to me, early in my youth, and I thought I had to be the all for that person. You don't give until it hurts. You know what I'm saying? Like, you give as much as you can, but when it starts hurting you, which what I mean by that, like, if you can't get your bills situated, if you can't, support yourself, if you're giving to that other person more,
you can't pay your rent.
You can't pay your rent or your car note or your thing because they need money, because they, for whatever the case may be, you need to understand that something may be going fishy in this relationship.
Right. And
you need to reevaluate that relationship, because that person may not be giving you 100%.
Right.
They may only be giving you 20%, but you've been used to the 20%, so you don't know. Value yourself and make sure that, whatever you give, you're getting.
Right. Right. And I think that's why I remain single at 42, because I'm not with the I'm not with the lines. I'm not with any kind of wham bam, thank you ma'am type of situations. I'm not about,
The representatives.
yeah, I'm not about the representatives. I'm not about you leaving me to go back home to your wife or your girlfriend or whatever.
No.
Like, no.
Wow. And who out there actually expects people to be like, okay, kind of being used, you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you know, you're just trying to get your rocks off.
Young ladies, you are never going to change a man. Ever. Never. No matter how much you give to him, no matter how hard you love him, no matter how much you sacrifice for him, you are not going to get him to change. He has to want to change for himself. And by you catering to his every need and being the only giver in the relationship, you are going to deplete yourself of everything that you have, all of your energy, all of your, your finances, everything, the respect that you have for yourself, and for some dude who's not going to honor you, and who's going to go out there and do his own thing.
Right.
So I think the moral of the story is that at our age, most of us, hopefully most of us, some of us, at least some of us,
one of you,
please have learned and understand that, when you're in your 40s, hopefully you don't view relationships the same way that you did when you were in your 20s. Hopefully you are, you are 100% honest with everyone around you, your loved ones, your partners, and or the people who you are trying to pursue.
Right.
There's no, in your 40s and older, I think, period, there's no need for a representative. If somebody doesn't love and accept you for who you are, eventually they're gonna see that. So your representative, you're not gonna be able to maintain that forever. So just be honest from the beginning. This is what I'm about. This is what it's about. This is what I'm looking for, or whatever. And don't accept any less than, your worth.
My only piece of advice that I'm going to add to that is, at 40 or 40, whatever, 40, I'm 41, she's 42.
She'll be 42 in 2 months.
It don't matter. I'm not 41 yet. I'm not 42 yet. My one piece of advice is to love yourself. At 40, whatever, you should be able to love yourself and still be okay being alone and knowing that you love yourself, as opposed to in a relationship and having somebody not love you and just being okay being in a relationship that's not giving you 100%.
Absolutely, because we
ain't
are
got
all
time.
energy.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Right. But we're all energy. And if you don't love yourself, that's going to get subconsciously transmitted to the next person. And all you're going to do is attract situations and people who don't value you.
Right.
You have to love yourself first.
And you'll find yourself in a situation where all of a sudden you wake up one day and you're the third wheel in a relationship because they weren't being honest.
Right.
And that's what you accept.
And all that time you wasted.
Yeah.
So,
YouTubers, hit the subscribe button if you liked this.
Like and subscribe.
Yes, if you liked this episode about relationships. Again, I'm Espy. This
Jen.
is Jen, and we're not with her. Peace. Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.